this time we're going to brown ground beef and make taco meat, and then I'm going to use the taco meat to make enchiladas. So again, just a little bit of oil. I'm going to send you one of these from Amazon. So this thing to pour, or this is to spray, and then you don't have propellants. You know, if you use those cans, you're eating all that stuff, those chemicals, and you don't want that. So it'll take a couple of minutes to come up to heat where it's actually starting to brown. So I'm going to pause you for a second. Just chop them and cook them. Again, you see there's not very much moisture in it, not much fat, 93% lean. So the taco meat itself is 0 points. The enchilada sauce is 0 points. I think those flour tortillas that I use might be 3 points each. I'll check that. Your points start going up with the cheese. So you go easy on the cheese or use low-fat cheese. That doesn't really melt very well, but you can experiment with it. I'm going to pause again until this is brown, and then we'll pick up. All right, the meat's almost done. You see a little spot there. But of course, I'm going to continue to cook it anyway, so it doesn't matter. So according to the directions, I just add the spice packet and some water. And that is it to making taco meat. Now you just kind of cook it. It's easy peasy. So at this point, you can heat up just the taco shells if you just want tacos and, you know, put your toppings on or whatever. But we're going to continue on and we are going to make enchiladas. To make enchiladas, we use enchilada sauce. Enchilada sauce is very inexpensive and it's usually 0 points. So we're going to let that cook and soak up all the... Sometimes I put a little extra water in because I want the meat to absorb the flavors, and it might take a little more time than they've given on the packet, especially in the mountains, because the water boils at a lower temperature and the water boils off really fast. So while that's simmering away, I'm going to show you the enchilada sauce. There are many brands. I usually use the store brand. In this case, I'm in the mountains. And they didn't really have a store brand that looked very good because, you know, Food Lion. It's mild temperature. I'm probably going to add some hot sauce. Anyway, here we are. So this is looking pretty done. And turn it off. And the rest of this liquid will continue to steam off. You don't want it too liquidy because remember you've got to make enchiladas and it'll be all drippy. So I'm just going to turn it off. The next thing I'm going to do is take my beans and heat them up, because if you put anything cold into the enchilada, it's just that much more the oven has to heat through, and that's unnecessary. So I'm going to get a bowl and heat these up. You know I do not like a dirty microwave. I think it's health hazard, so I always cover my bowls with a saucer when I'm heating food up. See how clean my microwave is? It's important to keep it clean. I'll wait for all that to heat up and then I'll get the tortillas out. You get these tortillas in the refrigerated section of Walmart. I think they're about $3.50, maybe $4. And some cheese. Go easy on the cheese if you're trying to keep your calories down. I don't eat this. This is something I feed your dad. It's great when you have company over because you can make it ahead. I'm trying to think where I can hold this. Okay, now we're going to put the enchiladas together. And basically we're going to fill that pan with enchiladas. One shell at a time. And they're all stuck together. I don't really care if they have holes in them, it'll tear up anyway. And the thing, we put a little bit of bean, a little bit of meat, a little bit of hot sauce, because remember we chose mild taco seasoning and I like it nice and spicy. Then you fold in the sides. You fold it over like this and you tuck in with your fingers. When you finish rolling it up and you put it in the pan. Now we're gonna pause. I'm gonna fill this whole pan. Okay, this is what it looks like. I had a little bit of beans and meat left over, so I just dumped it on top because nobody really cares. This is the hot sauce I was putting inside the burritos because it's very mild. It's a little bit salty, but it has an excellent flavor. It's delicious. Not only that, this huge bottle costs probably $3. It's very affordable. So the next thing I'm going to do is pour the sauce. And you can buy 2 small cans of Publix brand or Walmart brand. They're both good. Or you can buy this big can, which I'm not used to using. You just pour it over. Doesn't really matter how it goes on. You know, you don't have to be very fussy about this at all. Nothing to worry about. And then lastly, we're gonna put cheese on. I don't know how much cheese I put on. Let's do it together. The less cheese, the less fattening it is. So this is the huge bag. There's like 4 cups of cheese in here. And I'm just gonna put a ton on. We're gonna put at least half the bag on because this is your dad. We're talking about he could gain some weight. So it looks kind of like that. The next thing I'm going to do is preheat the oven to 375, and I'm going to stick this in somewhere in the middle of the oven. And I'll be back soon. While you're waiting for your oven to heat up, and we are still waiting, clean the kitchen. Because if you're cooking for your other half, no matter which one of you it is, nothing spoils the mood faster than a surprise dinner and the kitchen is a freaking mess. So that's a spoiler. So clean the kitchen while you're waiting for the oven to heat up. The reason you wait for the oven to come to temperature is if you open the oven, those grills at the top are red hot because they're heating the oven. Once they reach temperature, they'll reduce some just to maintain temperature. But while they're red hot, they'll burn the top of your food. So definitely wait for the oven to come to temperature. Casper, do you want to help Mommy cook? You gonna help Mom? Say hi, Nick. Hi, Emma. Hi. All right, we're gonna pause until it's ready to put the food in the oven. Okay, the oven has come to temperature, and I have put the food in the middle shelf in the oven, and I'm gonna close it up. I think I'm gonna cook it for about 45 to 50 minutes. It is 6:38, so we'll say 6:40. I'll come back and let you know how it's doing. I kind of wing it. I just wanna make sure that I know that those raw tortillas are cooked and the cheese is nice and brown and bubbly. 50 minutes later. I might could have taken it out after 45 minutes, but I really like to make sure those tortillas are nice and cooked.